So since TV Tropes loves to talk about discrimination, I decided I would actually find you a story of discrimination and how it actually affects the law. There's this article where in Utah this law passed that the Board of Liquor Committee must, 2 of the 5 members must be consumers of alcohol. They must actually purchase alcohol in order to qualify to be a commissioner in this group that deals with alcohol laws, alcohol-related subject matters, things like that. And how is this not discrimination? So just because you don't drink alcohol means you have nothing to offer in regards to the subject matter? Like you're incapable of studying it, of studying the statistics, of, being affected personally by people that drink alcohol? What if you don't drink alcohol for religious reasons? So suddenly there's just so many variables. So unless you drink alcohol, you cannot have an opinion on the matter. This is the same mentality that acts like, oh, you can't have an opinion on abortion unless you're a woman. Well, let's put it this way. You can't have an opinion on pay and work unless you're a man. Because only men are capable of work, right? It's that brutish thug mentality that distinguishes between groups of people. That is discrimination. And it is getting onto a dangerous level of where, you can't talk about subject matter X unless you're subject matter Y. And it's bullshit. It is all bullshit. I don't care if someone drinks or doesn't drink. I don't care what their religious beliefs are or are not. If they are competent in what they are saying, I will agree with them. If they are incompetent or in some other way wrong, I will disagree with them and probably tell them they are full of shit. Personally, I am for drinking. There should be no laws regarding drinking. There should be no laws regarding what age you are to drink. There should be no laws regarding of when you can sell alcohol. There should be no penalty for, having mass amounts of liquor in your car or whatever. Liquor should be decriminalized. There might be the argument that, drinking while driving impairs you and puts lives in danger. Well, yes, it does. But no more than just being a bad driver. Now, mind you, a bad driver is not responsible for his bad driving. He cannot help that. He is naturally impaired versus the drunk driver that is intentionally impairing himself because he's too irresponsible and impatient to just wait till he gets fucking home or have somebody else to drive him around to drink his ass to death. So, yes, there are some variables there, but not enough to suggest that we need to somehow deeply regulate alcohol. This is a individual situation where if you're a drunk driver, the court system should, focus on that and raise your insurance premiums or something. I don't see any reason why the court system has to be all or nothing. Where the government is a competent and smart institution. It's not just some, random gun shooting up in the air and the bullets fall where they may. It is a wonderful institution that uses law and bureaucracy to keep society stable and to protect people's rights, not come down against them. And, it pisses me off because it won't stop there. If Utah thinks it can discriminate against people because of, well, you cannot have an opinion on alcohol unless you consume alcohol, well, how long before they say you cannot have an opinion on what counts as a racist endeavor unless you are of that specific race? So, all of a sudden, the NAACP will be in charge of, subsidies for minorities and things like that. And on the other side, unless you are white, you cannot have anything to do with white privilege or white laws or whatever, and it's a clusterfuck. All it's going to do is breed more isolationism, inclusiveness, and nationalism. I've had enough of the fucking nationalism. And, that's why TV Tropes and all these other fag enablers get mad at me, because they are nationalists. They are just rainbow-colored nationalists. They might not be white nationalists. They might not be Hispanic nationalists. They might not be, freaking Jewish nationalists or Israel nationalists or Muslim nationalists, whatever the fuck ever, but they are nationalists. And that's what I'm trying to get across to you here, that nationalism is bad, and we should eliminate it at all turns. Some nationalisms are worse than others. Some nationalisms are more exclusive and more, discriminatory than others. And that's why I don't particularly waste my time with hyper-nationalism, which I consider a form of fascism. Like Stalinism is fascism. It is hyper-nationalism that puts the idea of the state and the people within that nation state above any race or ethnic background or religion. And like when Stalin was the leader of Russia, you were Russian. You were not white. You were not Christian. You were Russian. And it put that above all other things. So that kind of nationalism I tolerate because it is inclusive, but it is still nationalism. But since there are so many other problems to worry about, I'm not going to waste my time or your time or the greater good on this, on attacking the wrong target. It is not hyper-nationalism that is the problem right now. And it hasn't been the problem for many, many years. It has always been the most primitive forms of nationalism. The ones based off race and religion, and nowadays this arbitrary gender identity. These are the enemies of the now. These are the enemies of communism today. And if people don't understand that, well then fuck them. But, that's all I have to say on the subject matter. I will link to it below. See you later.